All right, let's just jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down Google's absolutely massive and, yeah, maybe a little intimidating leap into any-to-any AI generation and real-time screen intelligence. We're going to map out exactly what was unveiled at Google I/O 2026, how it actually holds up in the wild, and most importantly, what it means for your daily workflow.
Think about this for a second. What actually happens when one single AI model can create literally anything from anything? I mean, historically, if you wanted a video, you used a dedicated video model. You wanted an image, you used an image model. But what happens when one single model natively reasons across all of those formats all at once? Now, just to make sure we're totally aligned before we dive into the deep end, what are we fundamentally talking about here? Multimodal AI. And we aren't just talking about a model that can read different formats. Earlier versions of Gemini could already do that. We're talking about an architecture that natively produces them. It's the difference between hastily stitching together 3 separate software programs and having one unified brain that just speaks every creative language fluently. Section 1. The any-to-any AI era. We're talking about completely collapsing the walls between media types. It's like nano banana for video. Now, look, whatever a nano banana actually is, I honestly have no idea. The product teams are using this phrase to highlight a huge point. They're taking the ease and fluidity that we totally expect from basic image generation now and applying it directly to complex video creation. It's all about stripping away the friction, so generating a dynamic scene feels as effortless as typing out a quick text.
So, let's pop the hood. Section 2, How Gemini Omni Works, the magic under the hood.
DeepMind calls this conversational editing, and it's honestly a game changer for how you interact with AI. Imagine you generate a scene with a butterfly. Normally, if you want to change it, you're writing a massive complex prompt from scratch. Here, you literally just say, change it to a bee, and then, okay, change the bee into a small swarm of fireflies. You don't have to re-roll the whole thing. The model remembers the context and just makes those isolated edits perfectly.
But here's the absolute kicker. Omni isn't just hallucinating pixels. It actually understands physical rules. It has built-in world knowledge. If you ask it to show a water droplet bouncing off a leaf, it's natively simulating fluid dynamics. Ask it to explain quantum computing using neon geometric shapes, and it leverages its underlying reasoning engine to visually represent a highly abstract concept. It knows how the real world works and applies that logic directly to what it generates.
Moving on to Section 3, the reality check. Pushing the model way past the official demos. Because we really have to ask, does it actually live up to the keynote hype? To find out, we're looking at some super gritty, hands-on feedback from a Reddit tester who basically spent a week trying to break it, running every single DeepMind guide prompt to find the actual friction points. And when you compare the corporate promises to the reality, well, you hit some practical boundaries pretty quick. Google touts this seamless conversational editing, right? But out in the real world, testers found that multi-shot consistency drops off a cliff past the 4-shot, meaning you currently need to plan your productions in small chunks of 3 to keep your characters and environments perfectly consistent.
So you're definitely going to face some specific friction today. For example, text rendering on signs still degrades pretty fast. Pro tip, just avoid putting text in your prompts for now. Also, flash generation clips are hard capped at 10 seconds right now to widen access, and powerful tools like the avatar feature, those have some heavy regional and age gating restrictions.
But, and this is a really big but, the tester confirmed that the core magic genuinely works and is totally worth learning right now. Specifically, this thing called the trigger pattern. If you tell the model, when the character touches the mirror, their arm turns to glass, it gets it. It totally understands that causal relationship and renders it beautifully. The spatial reasoning is the real deal.
All right, Section 4. Omni in the wild. How professionals are deploying this tech into their daily workflows. Looking at this data from Mind Studio, it's clear Omni is in its own lane. Sure, Google's VO2 and OpenAI's Sora are mind-blowing for pure high-end realism, but they don't have that native, unified reasoning. Omni is acting like a true multimodal director. It can take an image, an audio file, and a text brief all at the same time, reason across the whole package, and spit out a video that respects every single constraint you gave it. Just imagine you're a product owner or a marketer. You don't have to stress about the complicated AI layers anymore. People are already using this stuff. Product owners on Scrum teams are whipping up visual product visions for sprint reviews. Marketers are using platforms like Morphic to crank out ad cuts perfectly locked to their brand colors.
And filmmakers in Google Flow are literally using natural language to build custom video editing tools, a wild process they're calling vibe coding.
Which brings us to Section 5, Project Astra's real-time vision, the AI that literally sees your world.
Astra's wild because it totally bridges the physical and digital gap. It isn't sitting around waiting for you to type a prompt. It's looking at your screen, suggesting email edits in real time while you type, or looking right through your phone camera to summarize a physical textbook on the fly. It is multimodal understanding applied instantly to your immediate environment.
And finally, Section 6, the future of creation, shifting the value of video. Video generation is becoming a commodity. The value shifts to what you do with it. This insight perfectly nails the whole point of our explainer today. The raw ability to just make a video or an image, it's not a superpower anymore. It's totally commoditized. The real value now shifts directly to you, your human direction, your specific taste, and how efficiently you can plug these outputs into automated workflows to solve real problems. So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. The technical barrier to execution is literally gone. Poof. The only limit left is your imagination and how well you can direct these tools. So, what are you going to build in this new era of generative media? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll catch you next time.